All right. So task 1 of the AAPTEL, I will start with Toynett. Just based on the peer review. So this was the literature review. I just got to remind myself. Okay. So content, I said great job with content. The author's work is aligned with the course content. The author provided facts in narrative form along with artifacts to support her research. The candidate's research does reflect how the knowing is influencing the doing. Rubric strength, this task has many strengths. It is fully aligned to the rubric. Rubric weaknesses, I just saw just minor errors, APA format, citing longer citations in the body of the paragraphs, and reference and artifact page looks great. Leadership, the author's leadership is demonstrated throughout the body of the task. Each section, the author provides narrative as well as observation artifacts to support her leadership growth. Great job with mechanics and grammar. I didn't notice any errors that might hinder my understanding, comprehension of the task. Organization, just make sure there was one paragraph that wasn't indented. Check your margins and paragraph indentations. One of the headings, which was building efficacy, I just said make sure to indent new paragraphs. Each section does have a heading, and the information presented in the section is relevant and professionally written. The evidence throughout the task is easily located and easy to follow. Under APA formatting, I just provided the Produce Owl link just for further reference as far as how to cite longer in-text citations versus shorter ones. But overall, I think Toynett's task 1 was well written overall.
Thank you. I struggled with that one because we were just back from break with Gardner Webb, and I was struggling getting back on task. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And then I'll just do Tanya's, and then we can move to the next person.
Okay.
Tanya, AAPTEL task 1. Great job overall. Again, like Toynett, your task was aligned to what the prompts wanted us to fulfill. Your literature review was well written, and your research supports your narratives. Task 1 was well written, and content is structured and aligned. Each section was clearly had a heading, and the content in each literature review supported the evidence. I just noticed, prompt 2, I loved your walkthrough checklist, and I wanted to ask you if that was something you created or something that your school actually implements.
No, when I met with my administrator, she said the same thing. She thought that it was really, really well done. But no, that's just me. It was not borrowed. I didn't look at anything else.
No, it's really, really good. Like, it's thorough and it's to the point, and I think it covers Maranzano and much more.
Yeah, that's what she said too. So I was really proud of it because, again, I've just kind of been floundering out there. But I wanted to make sure that it met the expectations of the task for this assignment.
Yes, no, it was really, really well developed. I really, really liked it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The rubric weakness, I just in the top portion where you left like the prompts and instructions and stuff, just remove the yellow highlights. Leadership, strong leadership is demonstrated throughout the entire literature review. Each section of the review shows your leadership and your goals and skills as a leader. Mechanics and grammar, prompt 2, there was just one error. I said fixed spelling of walkthrough. It said walk thorough, but that's a minor mistake. The task is well written in a formal and professional manner. Besides the minor spelling error, the task is free of mechanical and grammatical errors. The author uses third person throughout the task. Organization, the task is well organized and structured. The task is also professionally written and supported by relevant research. And for APA formatting, great job on your reference page. It was like perfect. And you use again, the third person APA format throughout the entire literature review. And I really, truly enjoyed your task.
Thank you. It was a labor of love.
All right.
Well, I go next. I'm going to start with Tanya, and I'm not going to start in order because Tracey, you mentioned the reference page, but was I looking at the wrong task? I didn't see the reference page, or was I looking?
I'm sorry. I reviewed hers after. I reviewed Tanya's after she did her second one. Like she sent another one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
One. That's probably why.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Tanya. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, it was very well aligned and with external sources. The literature review is extended and is aligned with the best practices and prompt. The paper was cited well within the paper. The checklist is excellently designed. I agree with Tracey. I really liked your checklist, and it matches the task 1 prompt. And I said again, the reference paper is missing, but I looked at it before your final one was done. Your task demonstrating leadership, it was evident that leadership information. I didn't see any grammatical or spelling errors. It was very, very well written in third person. It was organized and structured well. Your headings were present and information aligned with the headings. And like I said, within the paper, APA format was evident. The evidence of narrative, it was structured well. The headings are correct and the paragraphs are indented properly and the narrative is well organized. And I went back to the reference page. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. For Tracey, it was very well aligned with course content. It cited facts throughout the narrative. The knowing did influence the doing. The candidate has a well-developed observation tool that aligns with the best practices identified in prompt 1. Very good job.
Thank you.
Excellent checklist and survey. I said you omitted proof of PLC, Tracey? Or did I look at it earlier?
I think so, because I think that meeting that I had with that PLC, that it might have been delayed. I might have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I went back and I think I did see a PLC, but I didn't go back and do my feedback.
Oh, okay.
Your leadership was demonstrated by the development of the candidate's literature review. Proper research was conducted on the 5 areas of best practices required for the task. Your narrative was written professionally. The candidate cited numerous articles, books, and websites correctly. The evidence was structured well. The headings were correct, and paragraphs are indented properly, and narrative is well organized. And your reference page and citings are well done.
Thank you.
I enjoyed reading both papers. I feel like an amateur compared to you guys.
No.
Probably likewise. Likewise in a lot of ways. So I'll go ahead and get started. The first one I have up is Toynett. I thought that your content was very thorough. Ongoing evidence of knowledge, understanding of the content was presented in the format that was representative of the assignment. Your rubric strengths, I more or less took content And I documented the autonomy, professionalism, intellectual stimulation, and need for teachers to be effectively empowered. I think a lot of times in all the schools that I've been into, which is only 3, but I don't see that as much demonstrated. And so it almost kind of seems like if you don't find your own support system within the school, people can really, really become overwhelmed or just feel as though they're alienated. So I just thought all of those elements of empowerment definitely does give the platform for teachers to develop that level of self-efficacy. Also, to mention in your research in regards to schools can help retain their sense of efficacy by engaging them in systematic process of reflecting on their classroom expectations. I really like that too, because oftentimes I don't know if there's really a true reflection. I know we do our goals, professional development goals at the beginning of the year. We have a mid-year evaluation. Actually, I haven't had one of those. And then the final year evaluation. But in between, how is there a level of reflection? And so I think that we need to get back to actually having those professional reflections, not necessarily incorporating the administrator, but definitely peer-on-peer reflections to see how is it that we can actually grow. So I really, those were the elements as it relates to the strengths. But overall, your paper was really, really good. In regards to rubric weakness, explain, let's see, just something minor in regards to effective. I think it says it's believed that cited-based professional development can and often is ineffective. And I indicated, like, if we're going to say that site-based professional development is ineffective, I wanted to actually, it would have been beneficial to understand what element of site-based professional development is deemed as ineffective. So the walkthrough document, I just indicated that it might have been a little long, and maybe an abbreviated review just to kind of bring it down in reference to really getting a good snapshot of what the teacher's level of teaching expertise are. As far as leadership is concerned, there's an understanding of content to the point of the ability to demonstrate an understanding via transferable skills, especially in the usage of your meeting content. I think you did an excellent job there in taking information from your research and narrative into building the team and building purpose around it. So I think you did an excellent job there.
Thank you.
I uploaded you all's peer review as well, but just some minor grammatical errors. I won't actually mention them, but just go back and you can pull the peer review document and just make note of that. You might have actually made the corrections in a later version that's not uploaded, but just being mindful of just little things that can possibly throw the reader off from time to time. Again, that's something that I know that we're all developing in. As far as organization, page numbers should be aligned at the top in APA format. I think the page numbers were at the bottom.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. So I just said that just make sure that the page numbers are numbered in accordance to APA format. Your narrative was logically based on the rubric of the assignment and school leadership and development. I just thought that you did a really, really amazing job in that particular area of content. And again, as far as APA formatting is concerned, I just said corrections to spacing on reference page per professor directives. So just reiterating what I think Dr. Stedman indicated or gave you some feedback on. So overall, very, very, very well done.
Thank you. And thank you for the feedback.
Of course. All right, can you all still see me?
Yes.
Okay. So Tracey, what I have for you is in regards to the content, collective Narratives provide the reader with essential information, knowledge for an individual in school administrative roles to be mindful of. I said that, yeah, I think that you delivered the content in such a way that for new administrators, hopefully I'll get some downtime, but I think that what you used and how you had it laid out, we can actually develop like a new administrator checklist just to make sure like, hey, am I doing this? Am I doing all these elements? And I also too, at the very, very bottom of the peer review, just took some notes that I will probably actually transpire into a new administrator checklist. But I think you did a really, 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 really phenomenal job there as it relates to those leadership core values. As far as root strength, the building a school culture for success and exploration at the hem of leadership is essential. Again, just talking about how important it is for there to be a culture of success and exploration there within the school, because we want to have the disposition of empowering our students. But if we have a platform or a staff of teachers that constantly feel deflated, then that energy is actually going to be transferred over to our students oftentimes. So I just thought that you did a really good job with that. I was impressed in regards to content about the transformational leadership in the schools. I hear a lot about it on the MBA business aspects of things. So for you to find content that's in reference to it being demonstrated within the school setting, I thought that that was really, really an awesome job. In talking about the visionary and leading by example, oftentimes it's said, but it really does need to be demonstrated. And I think your work really horned in on the need for that to be demonstrated. Also, too, I thought that your survey, you did an excellent job with the questions on your teacher survey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. In regards to rubric weakness, walkthrough instrument could be deemed a little lengthy with a small window of time to capture a snapshot of instructional practices. As it relates to leadership, information in task 1 gives notion to the extent of time and dedication utilized in determining the true essence of being a transformational leader. Like, I just loved it. Like, I can't say enough about it. And also too, I was impressed in regards to you reference the importance of schools delivering staff development or professional development training based on data or pressing it up against data. And also too, now that staff has had the training, are they taking those skills back to the classroom and how are they actually being utilized? So it's kind of like an A to Z process when we're talking about staff development, and you demonstrated that a lot within the content of your narrative in this task.
Thank you.
Of course. Mechanisms, mechanics, grammars. I indicated it might have been something on my end, but I was not actually able to open up your link. So I said, just kind of check on that again. Also too, little by little, the details of the notations are on the peer review write-up, but page 5, just minor. Center is spelled a little wrong. Competitiveness on page 9. Just make sure, pay attention to that. Organization. I mean, I just thought that you did a great job. No concerns were identified in that area. I think you did a wonderful job. And then APA formatting, when you do your quote, what I'm seeing is that you do your period, then you do your end quote, then you do the page number, and then you'll start another sentence. So I'm not seeing where that break in the association between your APA formatting in regards to how your citations should be coupled. So I detailed that on page 5, page 6, page 9, and page 10 and 7. So just if you can go back and take a look at that. And again, like I said, at the end, I took notes in regards to a lot of the content that I really was impressed by in your assignment.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Well, any last comments or concerns or questions about task 1?
No concerns, but I do want to reiterate that both papers were done very well. You guys did a great job.
Same here. Same here. I think that when I look back to like AAPTEL task 1 to now, there's been so much growth amongst the three of us, and I'm very proud of that. And I think that even with these Zoom recordings, we've helped each other, the Zoom recordings and the peer review, because it's you get feedback from the instructor, but it's a whole different story when you get it from somebody who's actually doing it.
Exactly.
Doing it with you. And I think that the feedback has been extremely helpful and reassuring at the same time. It's good to hear that, the late nights stayed up doing this, that it wasn't in vain, that it actually produced something that can be used.
Right. The only question that I have is that I see that you all went back, and I could be a little off base, but you pulled your school profile back into the AAPTEL task 1. Is that something that we're supposed to do? Because I didn't see it as a part of the instruction, but maybe you all have a little bit more of a gauge on information than I do. So I do take responsibility for possibly being a little disengaged, but was that a part of it, and is that something that I need to actually add?
Yes, I believe Dr. Stedman did mention that for each class, we will pull the same school profile into our task.
Okay, I'll pull that over then.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as you pull it together, just like we did with the AAPTEL, when you pull it together for the final, you just leave everything as it is. So every prompt, every instruction, everything that says task, you just leave it there and just add your stuff to it. Don't delete anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Typically, if they're saying, someone's going to grade it, then I'm like, okay, it must be extremely refined in reference to the content and the content only, but I'll leave it up there going forward.
Same here.
Well, thank you all so much. This was very, very, I thought it was very helpful. And I wish y'all all the best in this, last couple of weeks, trying to just bring everything together for the AAPTEL.
Same to you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I do know that it seems per the instructions, we're supposed to do a recording of task 2 as well.
I think it just says task 1.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just it was just case study 2 and then AAPTEL 1.
Okay.
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 So I will upload this to YouTube and get it to y'all as soon as possible.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good
And with the profile, all I do is just pull it over, right?
Oh yeah, just copy and paste it from your AAPTEL.
Okay. All right. Got it.
All righty. Have a good weekend.
You all do the same. Thank you.
Same to you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.